Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's some crazy stuff up there. Or in there. Or what the... Hey! I forgot that I probably started the show, right? Did I start the show? I don't even know if I started the show. I don't even know what's going on. I don't know. Let me look here. I'm Jacob Israel. I'm on YouTube. You found me here. Hi, everybody in the chat. How y'all doing? Thanks for hitting the like button ahead of time and doing all that stuff. Conscious Critical is here. Melissa Wheeler is here. Caroline Drummond is here. Hopi, God bless you too. Thank you for saying that. It's very nice. It's very nice to get wonderful comments from all of you. Can you hear me okay? Am I coming in loud and clear? I hope I am, because I have quite a show for all of you. Hello, Ephraim for Life, and Deanne, and Sharona77. God bless you as well. Mike Papio, you made it, dude! Come on! Now it's time! Naps and Snacks rule. You got to check out that YouTube channel. So cute. So cute. Her daughter is doing the cooking and all that stuff. Very cool stuff. It's distraction time. That's what it is. Look at this title that I have. Hang on a second. Let me. I'm going to start the show. Okay, so I'm going to leave you all in the chat for a second. Can you hear me okay? I didn't even ask. I did. Saul DeLapaz. Hey, man. Oh, you really I shaped your ministry? Okay. All right. I think that it's a bigger thing than just me that's doing anything. I was looking at VR and looking all over the place, and I forgot that I started the show, because I'm gonna go back on here in a second and probably, because I mean it's kind of cool, you go in there and all of a sudden it's just like, it's like you don't want to come out. You just want to stay there. It's spooky. Wait till you see some of the stuff that see. Here's the thing. I get some comments. Okay, come on. I'm over here again. Okay. Hello, everybody. I was talking the whole time, and here's what's funny. I had the VR. I had the VR glasses on. And I got distracted. I left the clickbaity the thumbnail up there the whole time when I was gonna start the show like this. I thought it would be funny. Start showing like forget that you're what was I? So cool. It's kind of like a big distraction. You see, I already did the joke before, but it was bad because you couldn't see it. Point is, you get distracted with this stuff. This stuff is like we're going to talk about the flicker rates on and how that has changed the brainwashing that's going on in the world today, and how it's gone from TV and now it's going to be shot directly into your eyeballs to just get you to the back to stimulate that area so those endorphins go off so you become like hooked VR. That's what it's all about. That's what this thumbnail's all about. This was from the Economist cover, and I told you about KJ's show. I hope a lot of you checked out KJ's show. It was really good. So a good breakdown. And, one of the things in particular that I wanted to focus on was Leonardo da Vinci's The Man, right there. The Man. And you'll notice that in his, in his hand, you'll see the baseball, and then above that you see a marijuana leaf, and then over there you see, well, you can't really see it, but he's holding on to, looks like a phone, and then the other thing is having the balances of justice and people weighed in the scales. And it's kind of like these are the big distractions, right? These are the big distractions. These are the things that are going to keep us occupied, right? We're going to be so focused on the changes that are coming in 2019. Perhaps, as KJ said, that's the reason why their first cover was nothing but, it was just black and just had, the world in 2019 as if, darkness is coming. And darkness is coming because you take a look at that, okay? You put on those VR goggles, you put on an Oculus Rift, and you have left this world. I mean, almost to the point where you'll about what, 50 years down the road, all of a sudden I became Irish. 50 years down the road, you know what you'll be doing? You'll be forgetting that you're already hooked into the device, and you'll be thinking that you're in a real world, but it's really just a simulation. That's what it really is. And it's interesting that we're creating these simulations. Wow, I did a pretty good Irish accent there. I'm gonna check in the chat, see how many Irish like my little accent. So this is really spooky and interesting, because look, virtual reality, if you don't know what virtual reality is, I mean, this is like a cheap headset that I got years ago, because when it first kind of became a thing, and you'd be surprised at how interesting it is. But the Oculus Rift, which is Facebook's entry into the game, it's going to be game changing, because you'll see that it's going to attach social media and media and everything, and you're plugged directly into it, and they understand very well because of psychology. Cyber psychology is actually it's a theory class, yeah, and there are papers written about this stuff. They're not talking about how dangerous this is, but here on the thumbnail you can see right there, that's one of the new commercials that's going around, top left-hand corner. Jonah Hill and his buddy Adam Levine, they're in a series of videos right now, commercials where they're at a live event, and both of them sitting on a couch, and then the latest one which came out, which I'm gonna play, fair use, it's like, it doesn't, at this point doesn't matter, YouTube strikes what they strike and blah blah blah. I'm going to play that in a little while, and it's just disturbing where Adam Levine's in bed and he's having this conversation with Jonah. So he's in one world, but he's vacant from this world, and he's completely engaged in the other, and that's what they want you to be. Children, you see in the top right, we'll see that little picture over there. So let's go to this cover. Okay, so let's go to this cover for a second. Let's take a look at that. And once again, you see the distraction, right? And prominently featured in this cover is man, Leonardo da Vinci's the man, that's us. Of course, there's the Me Too tattoo on his left breast. But really, I was focused on, I was focused on the virtual reality aspect of this, because I have been seeing where this is going, and it's pretty spooky. Okay, so Mark Zuckerberg said this last year. He said virtual reality is better than the limited free world. That's right. It's a limited free world. Limited. The world is limited. But VR takes you beyond your limits. That is something. That is something indeed, don't you think? Right? Hey, by the way, do you like the? I did things a little different in here. A little different color. I put the future set behind me. I don't know. We're actually, before the new year, I'm doing a complete remodel of the office, and I think it's going to look cool. Because I got to up my live stream game, right? Because, I already have like 1, 2, 3, sets that I've set up, and this has to be, because I'm going to be doing more of interaction with all of you, especially on Patreon once, I figure out how to do it, and I'm getting there. And thank you to all my patrons. I want everybody to take a look at this picture for a second. And do you remember this? You remember this from, when was this? This was 2016, I think. That's the Zuckerberg. The Zuck right there. Distracting us all, right? So happy as he walks by everybody, because everybody's totally engaged. Now, why am I talking about all this? Why did I, say Facebook's Neuro, the program? Why this stuff? Well, because today, it's amazing how the programs fall. I believe that everything is orchestrated perfectly, and if you don't stress about things and you kind of go with the flow, and you kind of just understand that you take a step in the direction that you're meant to go, and you don't worry about how you're going to get to where you're going to go. You just understand that you see the end from the beginning. Like, I knew that the world needed to hear about the dangers of VR. And I don't mean dangers as in it's going to be a problem. You can't, look, I'm going to, be one of the guys that hooks up with the Oculus and does a couple of shows on it to tell you what it. But I'm not one of the guys that likes to escape reality, because this world right now, which is what they're trying to distract us from, because it's going to get worse, which is why in 2019 that was the primary focus, was distraction, right? You're completely immersed in another world, which Mark Zuckerberg says is much better, and others say is much better. And you're completely distracted when you're in this real world with, whether it's drugs or sports or, your new electronics and how you're going to purchase, because that's the next thing. Everything's going to be right through the phone. Boop, right? We know that's not too far away. Cashless is coming. And then, and of course, you're weighing sides. You have everybody against everybody. Which side's going to, the right or the left side? Which side's going to win in 2019? The scales, right? All of that while this guy's focused on a virtual world. It's so insane. And this came out today. Facebook Oculus just patented a retina resolution VR display. Last month, the U.S. Patent Office approved new Facebook technology for a virtual reality headset that can track people's vision to focus on specific parts of a VR simulation. That means that it will be almost perfect. I don't know if you know anything, but you use VR right now. If you use it right now, and if you move it around to quick things, it's not quite there. But if you can hone into the movement of the eye, and you can lock in completely, we're in this enclosed device where you're visually and audibly can't. It's an immersion that the world is not ready for, and they're advertising this like crazy right now. I don't know if you've seen the commercials, but this retina display, this is pretty insane. The concept behind Facebook's new VR display concept is that its smaller moving display would match the high density region of your vision, focusing, keyword, focusing, whatever part of a VR simulation you're looking at in high definition, and the background would fill in the rest. But it's unclear what purpose Facebook's experts this technology to serve. It's unclear? You just approved a patent and it's unclear? They're not telling you? Okay. Could it be that maybe it's going to be a little bit of a brainwashing? Maybe virtual reality, as cool as it is, and believe me, look, I'm going to tell you, I am going to probably get myself an Oculus Rift, and I'm going to, do a show on it or two, but I'm looking forward. I myself, as dangerous as I know it's going to be, and I know that it's because it's going to completely cut us off. And you think that my mother called up today, and she was talking about the kids today, the phones, they're buried into them. Not everybody's kids are completely buried into them, but a majority of them are. And that's because we've been brainwashed to do so. You give somebody the power of all knowledge, you give them the power of all entertainment, you give them and you put it in their hand, you gonna try to tear them away for the dinner? It's a good thing that my house, our dinners are pretty awesome. Because once again, if there is joy to be found in the world, believe me, someone will put this down. If there's a joyful moment to be witnessed, people will put these things down. But the problem is, most people are too busy being miserable in this world. And because they're miserable in this world, they want to escape this world, so they do this. When we saw Facebook came out, and we saw that how this is the thing about Facebook, right, is we know how terribly manipulative it is. It is 100% AI driven and 100% coercion. The top fields in AI, do you know what they work for? They work for the government, spying and warfare, and they work for like ad agencies, marketing, getting you to buy, That's what we're programming. That's what we're programming artificial intelligence to be, right? How can we manipulate you? How can we spy on you? Isn't that scary? I heard that on Rogan's podcast. You should check that out. It was really spooky to think about that. To think that we're already we're loading this, and now you're going to add a device that can track you and lock you in and sync with you. For what purpose? It's unclear. Facebook. Let me tell you what happened in 2010. Before I get in here, you know what? I didn't even ask. Did everybody hear me okay? I never even got the answer. I hope that I'm not talking for no reason. Hope you can hear me okay. Once again, I got distracted with the VR. And I appreciate thank you very much giving me the thumbs up loud and clear. I appreciate it. All right, good. Let's get back to the show. 2010. Patterson. Okay, this is basically a study, cyber psychology. You see that? Behavioral social network. Yeah. All right. So this randomized control study of 21 trauma patients compared subjective pain ratings of patients that were induced under virtual reality hypnosis. Hang on. Virtual reality hypnosis. Let that settle for a sec. Okay, good. And the analgesic efficacy of the hypothesis and the VR distractions techniques. They use a lot of big words in these things, and it's almost too late in the day for me. I'm already tired. I've been up since 5. Okay. The VR distraction and the hypnosis techniques, well, it's proven. It's proven that it works. And not only is it proven that it works, the cyber psychology, behavioral, and social networking, right? Well, they explored, this is back in 2014 now, the use of these distractions. And how can, virtual reality distract you from, guess what? From pain. It's pain. Virtual reality for pain and anxiety management in children. This is just coming out right now as well. Now, here's the funny thing is it's already happening. Virtual reality is already being used by hospitals to help people cope with pain. Lock them in, get them interested, hook them up to whatever, inject them with whatever. We don't want you to suffer. Check out this cool, immersive experience. This is going to lock you in and keep you as we pump you. It's like and the girl's smiling. She looks like she's like 11 years old. What is she doing? Jesus, Mary and Joseph, as they say. So they're using, look, once again, it's being used, and I think it's great. It's like if you can get, if there's a parent in a room and you're getting, your child has to get a shot or whatever else, or has to get blood drawn or wherever else, it's like, okay, if it works, that's a great thing. If it can help somebody overcome anxiety about a certain procedure, this is a good thing. See, once again, with this world is that things that are used for a good idea, which are a beneficial idea and a generous nature, compassionate nature, are then the people that are going to fund the research and they're going to fund this. They're the ones that are going to take it to exploit it. And how better to exploit it? Well, look, if we can distract people from pain, what else can we distract them from? You see? And then they say that it's good. Don't worry about it. You thought the TV was bad. You think pulling a kid away from the TV was bad. Well, remember this? It's been demonstrated that within 2 minutes of watching television, most people enter a hypnotic alpha state bordering on theta. It's a trance-like state. Gets you malleable. And now Facebook, Oculus Rift, which, by the way, you're about to see. When you see the places where it's starting to already penetrate. It's why 2019, the Economist cover. It's like weird, like it's funny. Okay, here's the thing. People say that I'm too goofy. Too goofy. Look, when I do live streams, you get more of a sense of how I'm feeling at the time, and I'm a little more slow and I'm a little more paced. But when it's a show, I humor. Just so you know, humor helps people to learn. There's a method to the madness, if you will. Like me playing the flute, and the last thing, you know what it did? It drew you in. It got your attention. Snapped you out of whatever you were thinking. There's a reason for everything that we do in life. And so, whereas this VR therapy will be used to help and benefit some, it is being used to brainwash the others. 2014, Forbes knew how bad VR would be. They called it the next legal heroin. Is virtual reality our next hard drug? What do you say? Anybody in the chat room? Alan Lambert loves the humor. Well, you know what? I love you, dude. I love you. And I appreciate all you sharing this around. A lot of people watching. I dig that. I got another thing that I got to tell you. Colin says I'm a legend. Yeah, that's the reason why I said it, because he says I'm a legend. So I got to put it. Thank you, Colin Scott. I appreciate it, man. I listen. You all make my you make my 2019. I'll tell you that much. Jupiter Valentine, hello cheesecake is always goofy is good. Yeah, humor helps people to learn. It definitely helps people to learn. Do you think legal heroin is a good idea? I don't. I'm not a big fan. Francis O'Halloran's back. Top of the morning to you. I actually hang on a second. Let me come on over here and say hi to you. Let's say hi to you all. I actually for some strange reason I turned into I started talking like I was from County Court. I don't know what I was doing. Don't you know? Okay, so look, the future. If the future is full of VR addicts, because VR is, they already know it's addictive. The governments have run studies on this. It's addictive. Facebook just got their patent approved, so they can lock into what's the essence of your being, your focal point, sit laser focused in on you. Gotcha. Wherever you move, right there with you, sucked in. You don't think that this guy who stole the whole idea of Facebook to begin with took advantage of other coders and everything else, and you don't think this guy who's been, good grief, the things that this guy right now, and Bezos and all those people, right, people, does he look like a person? Does he look like a person? Or does he look like some weird reptilian alien? And I don't even really, there could be. I'm not saying it, but I'm not like one of those guys. I just think, I'm telling you, if there's ever a guy that looks at, there he is. Right, there he is. So much better. Ooh, look at me. Oh, yes, I cannot wait. You know how many times he met with the government? How many times? All that information, they Facebook, the election, the scam. Give me a break, and we're all that. Yeah, we'll keep going. Because it's the biggest and the best. What if we all just dropped out? The only reason I haven't left Facebook, if you know, I am on Facebook, and I don't go on there anymore. I don't engage there anymore. I don't really engage on Twitter. I would love for you to follow me on Twitter, because you know what I do? I do. Because I'll tell people what I do. I send out, like videos, or I'm going to do this soon. But every once in a while, I do have something that I really feel like I should share. And, Twitter's a great way to do it. I leave the link in the description if you're, and when I do check it out, I appreciate it. Appreciate that I see you all there. So, but Facebook has all my poetry that I've written for over, 10, 11 years. I used to write up like a poem a day, so it's like I have to pull everything off, and it's just pure laziness. I'm too busy doing other things. But this guy right here, he knew what he was doing. They all know what they're doing. Cyber psychology. Oculus is the big deal, helping people cope with stress. And look at the predictive programming. Children will be injecting other children that are otherwise occupied. Study proves that VR hypnotherapy indicates a synergistic addictive effect. Yeah, I left that part out when I first put it up there. I wanted to see how many people would catch it. This is a study. It's not just addiction, people. It's not just addiction. It is synergistic addiction. It would be like, okay, let me put this in terms that you can understand. You're not putting heroin in you. You and heroin become one. How hard is it going to be to suck your face out of that machine when you can fly and conquer dragons and, have relations with whatever you want. Do whatever you want. You spend more and more and more and more time there eating your Doritos and, soiling yourself, because that's the direction we're going. This, we're already, see, here's the thing, is that this is the thing that I don't understand. I don't understand why people can't catch this, because this is huge to me. We're already addicted to the reality of this world. The reality of this world. We're already in, if you will, allegorically speaking, a VR simulation. Because this physical body is going to perish. This physical world eventually is going to change completely. And I will change with it, but not me, because I'm just in it. See? I'm in it. I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. Okay, let that sink in. And let's get the tunes going, because this is where it gets. This is the spooky part of the show. But also the very nice, inspiring part of the show. If the music is too loud, I apologize. They know that it's addictive. They know that there is a synergistic addictive effect. They know this. And the patent was approved, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what can be used. It doesn't matter that consumerism, that people can't afford what they're spending already. It doesn't matter that apartments are 27% more expensive now because more people need apartments, and the apartments are smaller. That was just the study that was just released. People, they say that the job rate. Oh yes, people have more jobs today than they've ever. And meanwhile, it's not that they have more jobs. It's that they're working part-time jobs. People are working 2 and 3 jobs, and it's meaningless jobs. It's not like more and more and more people are being dumbed down because they're not needed. They're not needed. They're not needed. There were so many fields before a lot of things. People are not ready for AI and what's going to happen, so they have to distract you. They got to get you focused in a bunch of other directions. Let's take a look at those directions again. Okay, let's take a look. Ba-ba-boom. Because look what's happening. Look what's going around. You got people starving. You got genetically modified babies, or Mark of the Beast babies, whatever this is what you got. Get the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in the upper right-hand part, underneath Putin. Got to keep you distracted. They got to keep you distracted. By the way, the lower bottom part, I don't know if anybody saw it. I wonder if that has to do with voting. I wonder if in 2019 we go back to handwritten votes. Wouldn't that be funny? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't know. I don't have the insight into that. Go check out the other channels for this. I'm more focused on what I see and what I know is going to happen. Because I remember my first experience with VR. I thought to myself, I wish I had that at home. I would play that game all day long. And I'm not a gamer. That's the funny thing. VR immersion therapies are they're huge. Okay, it's like they know that it's going to be an addiction. They know that it's going to be a terrible addiction. They know that there is a synergistic addictive effect. And that's why they are going to suck you all in and get you all happy. Be real in the grand scheme of things, right? Your life stinks. You've been convinced that that your relationship can't get better unless they get better, and you're miserable at home. You're miserable around your job. You're miserable because you've been brainwashed and tricked into thinking, you know what, you're just not happy here. Not happy here. And you know what you got to do? You got to go put on some VR. Go to the Caribbean. Go to let's take a look at some of these places, right? Remember Ready Player One? That movie, the predictive programming movie, where I actually talked about this, where I said that this is not the future in like 20, 30 years. No, like this could be like 2019. It starts. And why wouldn't it start, right? I'm gonna pull up this clip in a second, but we're talking there's a new VR game that's gonna be crazy. Typhoon Hunter. It's about to launch early 2019. Look at the dates. To release December 11th on PC, blah, blah, blah. But the good news is it's coming 2019, right? 2019. You got that. That's the good news, right? Could you imagine how many people playing Fortnite right now? Now you can be locked in to the simulation with your controller. You could be looking around and it's in real time. Oh my goodness. The funny thing is, that's going to change the game. All right, Ninja? It's going to change the game. Because people are really good with reflexes out here. Who's to say that once they get and guess what? A lot more people. It's going to be easier to play. A lot more people are going to be, it's going to be almost like, it's going to be as close to real as possible. And that's what's spooky about this, because there is a natural, let me see if I have an article on this somewhere. I have there's a natural way that our body, it's a drug. It's endorphins, okay? And endorphins are released when you exert some kind of really cool energy, if you will, from relations, which I get a lot of endorphins from that with the band. Shh, don't tell anybody. It's okay. It's a family show. I got 4 children. What do you think? Right? So endorphins, right? It's awesome. Working out, right? Exploring, hiking, doing something different. Fear, believe it or not. There are these chemicals that are released from us, from within us, that give us pleasure, that give us, VR is going to super enhance that. You can climb Everest now from your couch and get the same feeling. How are people going to want to pull away from that? And why is nobody saying, it's like, when a drug's coming on the market, like, oh yeah, heroin, we've seen the effects. Maybe we shouldn't be guarding the poppy fields in Afghanistan, because maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe before we went in, when the Taliban was in charge, not saying that they should be. Oh, no, absolutely not. But I do know that there was no heroin exporting at that point till we came in. And you want to know something? This is, I was told this by a Marine in Afghanistan who helps me out. He, does work for us. And he says, yes, we do guard them. I was like, really? Because I talk about this stuff. So, heroin's a bad thing. We're going to let it come in. This thing is gonna make heroin look like. Look, heroin's terrible. I don't want to compare it to the physical effects, but the fact of the matter is, it's going to steal your life from you. And why wouldn't it? That's what this whole game, this Ready Player One. Everybody was living inside of this virtual game, and it was exciting. There was races, and there was intrigue, and there was everything, relationships. There's a Netflix show that is a really cool show. I forgot. I think the name of it. I think it's like Kiss the Girl or something. Look it up. But it's like a really mind-bending, once again, about VR. And that's kind of more like what's going on now. It's like that's the timing. These shows are coming out because the time's now. The time is now. Remember the immersive spirit, the experience you had, maybe for those of you who are not teenagers, a little older, when you first saw that huge movie, and in 3D, and it was amazing, right? And they're making what's Cameron making? He's making the sequel to it right now. But remember that first experience? It was like, wow. Do you imagine? Nothing compared to this. Nothing compared to this. Right now, they're about to do Mission Impossible in VR. Could you imagine being in the movie Tom Cruise, who's a little kooky and scary, but they consider him handsome. He's got a big nose, so I'm down with that. What is going on? Our Mission Impossible is coming to VR. It's coming to a retail space and sofa near you if you choose to accept. Now, the reason I knew I needed to do a show on this is because of Leslie Jones here. Anybody see this commercial? I'm going to come on back into the chat again. I know that it's nice you like what I'm... Oh my goodness, thank you so much in Super Chat, Kelsey. Just saying hello and thank you. My YouTube addiction is all about I can handle for now. Yes, it's like... And I got to tell you, they do. The AI that's running YouTube, it really does program you. It's like I find myself looking for that next interesting show to watch, or looking for that next interesting story that so many cool channels that are out there are going to give you. It's like I find that so fascinating to me, and you can get stuck into it. But the good news is you don't have to be. Like see, here's the thing, is that you can enjoy anything as long as it doesn't rule you. You need to rule. There's a reason why VR. I think it's very cool. Look at this right here. But what are we saying with this Oculus Go commercial? Everyone deserves a little me time. Time to kick back, relax, and do whatever you like to do. Which, if you're Leslie Jones, means watching The Shape of Water in a private VR theater while immersed in water. Ha ha ha. Whatever you love, you haven't seen it until you've seen it in VR. Experience live sports, movies, shows, and concerts like never before with Oculus Go. Featuring Hulu, Showtime, NBA League Pass, Netflix, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, so say if she is in that bath and she's watching The Shape of Water, which I think, it's like this is the commercial you start with, right? It's the she's gonna have relations with the fish man. Okay, all right. And I wonder if that fish man has anything to do with Dagon, which is the fish god, right? I don't know. It's like these things. They certainly get you to question, right? It's so weird. It's so cool at the same exact time. So I saw this commercial and I said, I have to come on here and I have to tell everybody about this because it's getting a little kooky. But I didn't get around to it. And things happened, and and this is where it gets a little spooky. And I'm using this is fair use, okay? Fair use. Let's watch Adam. Let me make sure that I switched over, though, because I always forget to do that. Let's watch Adam and Jonah take a walk down memory lane so you can get an idea of...
No.
Yeah, you tried to return it and the cashier just laughed in your face and then you started crying even more?
No, I did not cry. I stole the candy bar, yeah, but I didn't cry.
You did cry.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why would I start crying?
Because you felt guilty, remember? And then there was this big wet spot in the front of your pants because you were saying, I feel so guilty, I made an accident.
It's not true.
You literally were shrieking out, I feel so guilty, I'm weeping, I'm weeping.
It never happened.
And then I took a picture, and I made a t-shirt out of the picture, and then I wore it to your wedding.
They were watching a movie together. Okay, now they were also featured in another commercial where they're at the NBA game, sitting in the front row, and they have their little VR characters, and they can see each other, and they're watching their movie. This is how the commercial started.
Milk money, but old lady Simon stole it back from me.
I love this movie. Reminds me back when we were kids.
Totally.
Remember that time I got you to steal a candy bar and then you started crying?
No.
Yeah, you tried to return it and the cashier just laughed in your face and then you started crying even more.
So, I mean, do you see that this could be a problem? Do you see that this could be a problem at all? I mean, do you find this spooky at all? Because I certainly do. Really interesting, the day that we're in. Really interesting. So the big push it's been going on, slow but steady. You know, first you get you here, then it's like they're trying to get it so that it's in here, right? Where you chip. That's the whole thing. So it goes in stages. First you get the TV. It's all about getting you and the monitor together. Where you and the right here, right, while you're experiencing the world, and the world is now. You can be in this world, but totally forget about it. 100% logged into, so bizarre. Especially when they know that it's legal heroin. That's the thing in 2019. It's the distraction game. And this is the best way to do it. With movies, games. This is not something that we should take lightly. When you have entire departments being given resources, cyber psychology, behavior, and social networking, virtual reality as distraction technique in chronic pain patients. Well, who's the one that's in pain right now? Statistically speaking, 28 to 35% of you are in emotional, terrible pain. This would be something that would be helpful. Instead of having you face this and overcome it and rise above it and understand that you are the master of your ship, that the power of life and death resides in your tongue. It is like the rudder of a ship. What you say becomes reality. What you think becomes reality. That's what it says. Power of life and death is in your tongue. Judge not, lest you shall be judged. What you think, you will receive. If you're in pain, and I've been in pain, how many times have I talked about all the things that I've gone through? How many different drugs did they put me on because I was PTSD and generalized anxiety disorder, and because of your Crohn's disease, and you were so sick, and because of the abuse and the abandonment and blah, 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 and you have all of these issues, and we need to give you this pill and this pill and this pill. And I listened. And that's when I thought of, oh my God, it would be better if I just left. Then I thought, oh, maybe it'll be better. Maybe I should just start cutting myself. That was smart. Right? Well, you can't think straight if you have things that are messing with your head. And I realized, I've talked about this before, that when I was on the floor crying one time, many, many moons ago, and I'm shaking and crying, and I just thought to myself, I can stop. I can stop crying. I have the power to do that. I don't have to make an excuse as to why I should be crying. I got up, washed my face, changed my life. Because I understood that I was tricked into thinking something that wasn't true. I was tricked into thinking. We all have moments where we're down. That's so that we can turn that frown upside down. It's kind of like you're going off of the path, so it starts to get uncomfortable. But the more you go off of that straight and narrow path, it gets a lot more painful. Next thing you know, you're tripping, you're stumbling, you're getting hurt. Because you're, and the farther you walk away from the path, the more pain you're in. It's a good thing all those big corporations, the military-industrial complex, is there to distract you, to help you with your pain management. I think it's going to be a fun thing. I know that it's, no matter how many of these videos that I do, I mean, I hope you share it too, because you should. I think people need to, I think that this is an important video. I think this is an important video because this is going to be bigger than, I think it's going to be bigger than opioids. I think it's going to be bigger than everything. Because, they're going to legalize marijuana everywhere, which is going to, it'll probably help with the opioids, but then what they do is they're going to probably find a way to make the marijuana more addictive and blah blah blah, and maybe they start to control you that way. And then you got Facebook zoning in on you with their laser systems, their new patented retina virtual display. Whoo! It's new technology called retinal resolution, according to Upload VR. It involves a smart VR device. Someone's looking at high definition. It's so crazy. The rods and the cones that are in our eyes, their color detecting counterparts become increasingly sparse as you travel out of the peripheral. That's why in the corner of your eye, they'll start to appear blurry. Not anymore. Not anymore. You're going to be locked right in. And this is the best part. Facebook expects this technology to serve whatever part of a VR experience you're watching will always be in a better focus than the peripheral, because that's how the eyes work all the time. Facebook might hold on to the patent, but decide it's not actually worthy to build out the tech. After all, as long as they're sitting on the legal rights to the eye tracking, no one else can bring it to market. They don't even know what purpose this is going to serve, though. That's what they say. They know what purpose it could serve. Because you know what? If the VR experience that you're in really doesn't seem like reality, it seems fake, you're probably not going to want to stay there the whole time. But if that virtual environment that you're in is almost indistinguishable from reality, but better, right? Better, and everybody looks better, and everybody performs better. You can fly. You can shoot lasers out of your nostrils, right? Can you imagine the cannons? Pew! This is nothing here a couple of years ago. But look at how distracted everybody is. That's why this show needs to get out. That's why people need to wake up to this immersion. It's going to be a tough one to overcome. And I have no doubt that this, let me pull up the show cover again. Here we go. I have no doubt, you see the upper left corner, that was another one of their commercials, so that when you're looking through the VR, that's what you see. Keep you distracted for the days to come. Before I get out of here, I want to talk to a couple of you in the chat. I want to thank you all. Oh, thank you so much. What's in a name? 3333. Oh, I like that. That's a good number. Sending love into the great void. Hope it lands where it needs. It does. It lands very, very well, especially with Christmas around the corner. By the way, how many of you want me to do? Now, I've written essays on Christmas and whether you should have a tree and blah, 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 and all that jazz. And yes, it has its roots in pagan, and very, very obviously, on every level. But that being said, religion will divide you on that too. So if I do a show on, whether or not Christmas, and you should celebrate Christmas, and you should tell your kids about Santa and everything else. All these things. Paul talked about this. Let me come on here and before Paul talked about this because as the holidays are coming, and I know that a lot of you celebrate other holidays, and happy holidays to you, right? Merry Christmas. It's whatever. You should be able to say whatever you want. You should send joy and peace and love and joy to the world and all that jazz, right? Well, Paul said, some people like to eat meat, some don't. Some say you can eat lettuce, some say you can eat cucumbers, others say you have to have bananas. He says some people say you can do this, some people say you can do that. You got to worship on the new moon or the old moon or the upside down moon, right? Because of the Mandela effect. There's so many weird things going on today. Paul said you could do it, worship God, however you want to do it. Some people say you should do it this way. Some people say you should do it that way. Whatever you do it all to, the truth, no matter what the cost. God, whatever. There is more, people. There is more. You are more. You're in this idea of this limited world. And right now, this is the thing, is that you're going to see the possibility. You're going to see the potential. You're going to see how much you can become like gods in VR. That's what they're counting on. It's better than the limited real world. The real world is limited. The real world. Nothing is impossible to those with faith. You want to see limits? When we meet, say in a couple of years, Mark, you'll see that there's nothing that's impossible in this world. There are no limits. And people should be busy dealing with the first matrix before they get sucked into and addicted to the next, while those that are in charge exploit every resource we have and exploit everybody and keep us trapped slaves. Oh, could you imagine? Just giving you what... There's a great movie that you should see if you haven't seen it already. It really paints the picture of the future. Pretty scary. It's pretty scary how everybody is just complete meatheads. Luke Wilson's in it, and people are just sitting on their toilets watching the most ridiculous shows, and the world has gone to it's become a cesspool because of corporate greed. That's the day that we're in, and I'd hate to see it get worse. I think that we can make it get better. I think that together we can do that. And I'd like to see that. So I hope that each of you join me in putting the light out there, and don't get stuck in this. You want to play around with the VR, you want to do that, go ahead. I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to get lost in it. Just like I don't get lost in this. There was a time when, it would be very easy. Right when Facebook first came out, the appeal of it. But right now, people are glued. Come on, people. If you feel like you lost your arm when you leave your phone and can't get in the car and drive to the store without your phone, I understand that. Because it's a phone, and what if somebody needs you? But if you lost it, or you left it downstairs and you're tired in your bed, and you just want to have it next to you while you're sleeping, and you get out of bed because you're tired to go downstairs and get that phone, which is something I don't do, and neither does my wife. But if you're doing that, it's a good call that you need to unplug for a while. Unplug for a while, people. Take a walk. Do something nice for those around you. People are not invisible. We've all been programmed to think that we shouldn't be looking at each other in the eyes, that we should be looking down, or we should be ignoring. Stop ignoring. Start smiling. Smiling. That's why if I get the comments, oh, you're fake, oh, this is not real. It's joy. This translates. So translate some joy. Make your life better than Zuckerberg and Oculus could ever make it. Because the power of life and death is in your tongue. And if you said to the fig tree, be thou, or the sycamore tree, be thou cast into the sea, or the mountain in your life, that thing that is insurmountable, that you think you can't, I'm never going to get ahead. It's just the bills are too much. Well, guess what? They're not. That mountain can be cast into the sea for forgetfulness and just be gone. doesn't need to bother you anymore. There's nothing that can hold you back from where you faithfully go, especially if you're seeking the truth, no matter what the cost. I love each and every one of you. I hope you do subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like, especially if you watch to the end. Hit the like, comment, share the video around, tell people check the channel out. It is such a huge blessing and such a big help. And when we get to a certain point, you'll see why I love all of you so much. You're just the best. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. And I'm not going to stop blowing kisses either. For the people who say that's weird. It's not weird. It's what's called like a holy kiss. Just something that I do. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.